Hey, what's up, everybody? Evan Freiberger here, and yeah, got another weather forecast for you. We've got a lot to talk about today. Got a big old snowstorm that's coming down into the southeast. Also, some lake effect snow, still causing some blizzard conditions and a lot of problems up there near Hamburg and Watertown there in New York. And yeah, in this forecast, we're going to be going over that Arctic blast slash Canadian air as well, and all of that's going to be in this. So if you want any information on that, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, first starting off with this lake effect snow up here in New York. I mean, this is still going. Also, gonna have some lake effect snow over here near Michigan as well. That's gonna add some extra snow totals there as well. But it's gonna be the worst here across the lake as the winds are gonna be gusting to 60 to 70 miles per hour, accompanied with this lake effect snow, and then pushing this all the way through into 13th, into the 14th in the morning here. That band is still ongoing. I mean, look at this. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lake effect snow bands happening all the way from Michigan into New York, and also some snow that's going to be falling on the bottom side of this. Kind of another little kind of really weak low pressure system is going to bring some extra snow as that moves off to the east. Could see some snow squalls here in Pennsylvania as well as that moves off to these. I mean, look at that. It's just amazing. I mean, this is 12 hours here of lake effect, heavy lake effect snow band there. And then as we go into the 14th at 4 p.m., it's looking like that lake effect snow will start to calm down a little bit there in Michigan, and then start to pick up over here near just to the south of Kingston, New York, and then pushing this all the way through into the 15th here. You can see that that lake effect snow is still going into the 16th, or well, I guess later in the 15th here. Still lake effect snow going, but it's a lot weaker. But I mean, it's still going. I mean, technically speaking, it's still going, even though it's weaker. So lake effect snow really gonna be going for the next 3 days. And look at that, just appearing on the models is the kind of the down the line of what this with the southeast snowstorm is going to do as it moves up the coast here. Could potentially also bring some snow up there, over there in Pennsylvania, southern New York, going into New Jersey, New York Island there, or Long Island, sorry, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts there as well. So let's do a little bit more of a zoomed out view here and look at your guys' snow totals out there. So here's the current snow total forecast for your guys' area over here near Buffalo to Tonawanda here, potentially getting up into that 1, 2, maybe even 3 feet of snow there in that region, and then it gets smaller as you get into Bativa, but still almost a foot and a half there, and then it gets into those 5, 4 inches as you get to North Greece. Then over here near Watertown, talking another area of almost 3 feet of snow there as well, and then as you go east, it goes down a little bit into those 10, 8, 7, going into the 5, 4 inch mark as you get kind of just to the north and west of Glen Falls, and south and west of Plattsburgh there. And then really for everybody else in this region, we're talking a good coating of 2 to 3 inches. Some isolated spots up to 4 to 5 inches are possible in higher elevations, like over here in Vermont, and then also in northern Maine as well. But everybody else, pretty much in the lower elevations, is going to be picking up potentially another 2 inches of snow on top of whatever's on the ground out there. But yeah, let's go back into the southeast here and check out the latest models for that as well. All right, looking at the HRRR here, you can see as I push this forward, start to get that freezing rain start to happen over here near Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas. Again, we're expecting about 10 or 0.10 to 0.25 inches of freezing rain accumulation out of this. Some models indicate a little bit higher than that, but the average is around in that region. So anywhere where you see this pink, that's where those amounts are going to be possible for the freezing rain. We got that snow shot come in. Really, it starts off over there in the Pacific Northwest, then starts to move through Kansas and Oklahoma as we get into 2 p.m. there. Looks like something happened with my clock. Hold on, let me fix that just real quick. There we go. Now, looking down here, you can see, right at 2 o'clock here, they start to see that snow start to accumulate there on the northern portion there, and it gets pretty heavy as that moves into Little Rock and then moves off to the east. So, a lot of the shorter range models, the higher res models, have really been indicating not a whole lot of snow for Arkansas. So it is kind of interesting. The GFS is still holding on to those higher amounts down in these regions, or especially over here near Little Rock. But yeah, both the HRRR and the NAM model are both saying not a whole lot of snow for Little Rock. So I'm still in the opinion of this area being more of a question mark, and also everything along this area in terms of snowfall when it comes to the NWS forecast. But you can see here by 10 p.m. that heavier snow is moving into Memphis, Mississippi, northern Alabama, over across there, Clarksville, Knoxville, Knoxville, about to move into Charleston there, Louisville, just to the south of Jefferson City, Springfield, south of St. Louis, going into southern Indiana is getting some of that snow as well. Pushing this forward another 6-7 hours here, we still have some heavier snow at 4 a.m. on the 15th, still in northern Mississippi, going into northern Alabama, also Nashville, Knoxville, Charleston, Roanoke, maybe even getting up in there with Washington and Richmond, Baltimore already there by 4 a.m. And then pushing this even further here on the HRRR, maybe another little spurt of some heavier snow moving kind of into northwestern Mississippi, northern Alabama still. Starting to move out of Nashville by 12 p.m. on the 15th. Heavier snow south of Knoxville, going just to the north of Greensboro. I mean, that's a big, long strip there of some pretty heavy snow. It almost kind of looks like a lake effect band, but it's not really, or it's definitely not a lake effect band, but it looks like one. So heavy snowfall accumulation could be possible along that line that actually forms like the HRRR is saying. That'll be around 12 p.m. And then pushing this all the way to the end of the model, still have some heavier snow falling on the northern side of this, south of Knoxville, Roanoke, Richmond, and Washington. So let's go look at the NAM 3K here and kind of compare and contrast what they are saying here, and pushing this into the beginning of the event. You can see the NAM is a lot warmer with this storm on the southern side. I mean, we're talking mixed precip near Little Rock, down there near Tyler, Shreveport, Dallas, Austin, freezing rain there near San Antonio, and pushing this into 10 p.m. You see that heavy snow really picks up there, but look at Little Rock again with this short range model here. It barely gets any accumulation out of this, so it will be interesting to see, if the GFS and the Euro confirm or if the short range models confirm on this one. But yeah, I mean, regardless though, for like Memphis, northern Mississippi, going into Nashville, Clarksville area, both of these models are indicating heavier snowfall amounts. I mean, the NAM even might have two shots there. First one ending or not ending, but kind of moving off to the east and northeast into Clarksville, Charleston, Roanoke, Knoxville, Washington, Baltimore by 6 a.m. And then another heavier band starting to form there at 12 p.m. on the 15th for Clarksville, Nashville, Knoxville, Roanoke, Charleston, and then kind of moving into Richmond there as we get into 3 p.m. on the 15th, Washington, Baltimore as well starts to get on some of that heavier snow. And then that moves all the way up to the north and east and starts to bring some decent snowfall up here near Philadelphia, New York, Bridgeport, Scranton, Pittsburgh, South Albany. And as we get to the end of the model run, which is right around the end of where we get to the accuracy with these snowfall totals and everything, you can see that this thing is probably going to keep on moving up to the north and maybe drop some additional snow up into Maine. So we'll have to see what ends up happening there. But look back here, by 5 a.m. on the 16th, we still have a mess going on over here near Chattanooga, Birmingham, with some of that mixed precip and then freezing rain still potentially falling almost as far south, check this out, as New Orleans, going all the way, might even get some freezing rain on the ocean. That is quite crazy. That just shows you the strength of that Arctic front. All right, now naming off the cities here in the southeast with the snowfall amounts here. You can see Wichita is going to get 1 to 2, Oklahoma a dusting to an inch, Bartlesville 2 to 3 inches, Tulsa 1 to 2 inches there. Joplin is looking like 3 to 4, Rogers 4 to 5, Fayetteville, Fort Smith also the same thing there. Also Springfield 1 to 2, Jonesboro is looking like 4 to 5 inches, Little Rock and Pine Bluff again, big question mark over here for how much snowfall is gonna fall in this region. So I would say 1 to 7 inches there for Little Rock and Pine Bluff. It's because of that slight disagreement in the models that are starting to appear. Looks like for Greenville 2 to 3, Memphis 5 to 6, maybe some isolated spots of 6.5 inches. Jacksonville's looking like 5 to 6 as well. Tupelo is looking 2 to 3, Hopkins 3 to 4, Owensboro 1 to 2, Evansville 1 to 2. But Evansville, Louisville, even also up here in Bloomington, Indianapolis, and Muncie, there's some possibilities that some areas around in this area might not get any snowfall, but definitely snowflakes seem like 100% possible up there. Down here near Lexington and Richmond, we're talking about 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches there in Lexington, 4 to 5 there, or 3 to 4 in Richmond. Clarksville's looking 3 to 4, Nashville looking 4 to 5, Murfreesboro 4 to 5, Knoxville 4 to 5, Johnson City 3 to 4. Coming back down here, Tupelo 2 to 3, Florence 2 to 3, Huntsville 1 to 2, maybe getting up into the 2.5. But again, since any of these cities that are on the southern side here, big question mark, could get just an absolute bust of 0 inches of snow. So keep that in mind as you're forming your expectations there. But Johnson City 2 to 3, It looks like Ashland 3 to 4, Charleston 3 to 4, Parkersburg 2 to 3, Morgantown 4 to 5. Maybe some isolated spots there of 6 inches as you go higher in elevation there. And then look at this. A big part of Virginia here is going to get 1 to 2 inches. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting it. I know this is not as much as you wanted, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. At least you're getting snow. It kind of sucks. I know. But, you'll like this. Trust me. It'll still feel good. It'll still feel good. I promise to get this 1 to 2 inches across much of Virginia. Hopefully you guys will get another better round of it. But yeah, going up to a little bit further up to the north here, Baltimore 1 to 2 inches there. Dover, probably around that 1 inch area. No, for the entire state of New Jersey, we're talking 1 to 2. Philadelphia 1 to 2. Trenton 1 to 2. But as you get further north near Sparta Township, potentially 2 to 3 inches are going to be possible there. And then yeah, so large little swath of snow, and then zooming out, you can see we're missing a big area over here. So let's go and talk about that. So starting off pretty much in the morning here, going into the rest of the day, you can see that there's a lot of snow that's going to be kind of moving through this area, starting off in the Sierras here, going into Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming, and that's going to bring some additional snowfall of around 4 to 5 inches in the lower elevations, and obviously a lot more in the higher elevations. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be accompanied with some gustier winds around 20 to 30. Some areas could experience 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts out of that, and then this little area of energy that's going to move off into Kansas and Oklahoma is what is eventually going to end up starting this snowstorm for the southeast. All right, now looking at the snowfall totals, you can see starting off in southern Washington, going through Oregon, southern Idaho, down into northern Utah. Parts of Colorado here as well could receive a wide area. You have, around 5, 6, some isolated spots, each reaching up into those 7 inches on the lower elevation. And obviously, as you get into the higher elevations, we're still talking a lot more snow to come, with potentially, still about around 1 to 2, maybe 3 feet of snow still possible on the peaks of the mountains. All right, now look at the wind gusts across the country. You can see, starting this off, we do have, widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour winds this morning going in to the later in the morning here. You can see that those winds will really start to calm down for most people. But look over here near Lake Erie and Buffalo and just south of Kingston, we're going to be seeing still some 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts persist throughout the day and going into tomorrow. But then those really start to die down tomorrow morning as we get into like the 12 a.m. period. So things are pretty gusty right now, but things will start to calm down as we go into the future there. Watch out for potential power outages, and definitely those blizzard conditions will continue. But look over here near North and South Dakota, where we do still have those 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts that are going to be possible going into the 15th in the morning hours there, maybe even gusting up to 70 miles per hour here near McLaughlin, Mobridge, and Timber Lake. That could also potentially cause some power outages. Now, looking down near the southeast, really not expecting too much wind with this snow that we're going to get down there, but still the potential for some higher winds in the lower elevations. 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be possible there. And if you live on the peaks of these mountains, I mean, you're just going to be stuck in those 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Look at this over here near the Sierra Mountains. Could get up to 99 mile per hour wind gusts. My goodness. Hopefully nobody lives up there, but if you take a trip up there, that's what you're going to get. But yeah, that's it for that. All right, now looking at the temperatures across the United States, you can see we still have those negative degree temperatures sticking around. It starts to warm up a little bit as we go into the 15th at 3 a.m. here. So not nearly as cold for a lot of the northern plains, but as we go down into, Iowa, going into Illinois, Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska, we're still around those 20s, negative 20 degree temperatures, and those wind chills could bring it down into 30, negative 30 degrees in some of these spots, and maybe even colder. And then pushing this into the coldest portion of the 16th here. Let me get it lined up. There we go. Still have those cold temperatures up here, still warming up a little bit, but still dang cold with those negative 11 degree temperatures and negative 6s in there. Maybe potentially even negative 11 there near Chicago as well. And then, we still have widespread teens going all the way from, Washington, Oregon, down into Texas, all the way up into the Northeast. The only places that are staying warm on the 16th is Florida. That's about it. Everywhere else, at least according to what I'm used to, is cold. Some people think 47 degrees and 53 degrees is warm. I think that's cold. but I mean, if you've been in these temperatures, you're probably really hoping for these ones, and I know I will be. As in my area, it's going to be dropping down into the teens as well, pushing this into the next morning here on the 17th. Looks like those negative degree temperatures are still forecasted here to make it down into the southeast here for Mississippi, Alabama, going up into Knoxville and Johnson. Could get some negative degree temperatures without that wind chill. With the wind chill, could have a widespread area here of just dipping into those negative degree temperatures. So make sure you are protecting those pipes and making sure that your pipes don't burst. And make sure you have a little bit of extra food and water as well, because power outages can happen as everyone's going to be blasting their heaters throughout the nighttime going into the morning here. And then moving into the next day, things warm up a little bit more, but we have potentially, some more Arctic air kind of seeping in over here near Bismarck, northern Minnesota, then going down to the last little bit of this model run. Kind of looks like something is approaching here, but it's a little bit too far out to tell too much with too much detail. But it does look a little bit warmer across the United States. Still pretty chilly though, if you ask me. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.